our celebrations first. So tell me what you love about Seesaw.
That for a non-techie person, it was somewhat easy to learn that I could actually do this.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's always helpful.
Absolutely.
I can share one from a teammate. She had a student who rarely spoke or spoke very quietly. And so maybe it's the technology, maybe it's the comfort of his own home, but using the microphone capability, she said she didn't even recognize his voice at first. That's how little she's heard it. But now he's able to kind of shine using his voice through Seesaw.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Nice. That's what we're talking about today, is how communication has kind of changed through the use of Seesaw, either the way that you're communicating with them or how they're communicating with you. So it's amazing to see that the kids that are afraid to say stuff out loud in class are finding their voice through Seesaw. Anybody else?
Hey, Carrie Chandler, thanks for sharing that you are moving back to third grade. So yeah, today will be a great introduction, talking about how to communicate with your students through Seesaw.
Yeah.
So I'll be happy to help you make that transition for next year.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome.
We've been doing all Google Classroom in 5th grade, so I'm anxious to see how it works.
Sure. Very good.
Mm-hmm. So I skipped our introduction, but I kind of think we all know each other. But I'm Andrea Gray, my elementary DLS, and Jeff's with us. Jeff.
Hello, everybody.
And then we have some amazing teachers who have agreed to share. So we have Lydia Donahue. She's going to share a little bit with us today.
Hi, guys.
Laura Bean and Jennifer Doty. So we've got some awesome things to share, some resources with you, maybe some ideas, things you might have already heard before, but can't hurt to hear it again. So the next question, we've had some celebrations. Seesaw has been amazing. There's been a couple of hiccups with technology, like the site going down, those kinds of crazy things that go on when we are on emergency mode. But other than that, people seem to be loving Seesaw. So how has things changed? How have things changed from when all this started, how many weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks ago, to now?
This is Melanie with Grace Hardiman. I teach 2nd grade, and I had no experience with this, even though other teammates had started using it in the classroom throughout the year. So they had a head start. They had been experimenting with it. How it's evolved for me is, well, for even those team members, is because we had to release all lessons for the week on Monday morning at 9 o'clock for students to have access to everything to allow them their flexible online learning. And all the lessons were jumbled up, and the kids were having to search through what they needed to do for each day. And so we quickly realized we needed to, even though it's flexible and they can do it at their leisure in any order, anytime, any day, we needed to provide a daily calendar. We call it our suggestion schedule of lessons. We provide a daily calendar and a weekly calendar. We also email that to parents so that they can have it separately. So that helped. That was one thing that evolved. And also our wonderful team lead, Megan Boland, figured out that how you assign it, even though we release all of the lessons at once, if you schedule the lessons for a specific time for each day of the week, it will sorry, you're seeing my UT background that
I like it, by the way.
Experimenting with. I know Laura likes it. I'm experimenting. Anywho, I digress, as I will when anything UT. We figured out, actually Megan figured out that if you schedule the lessons for a specific time
Mhm.
on Monday, they will flow in the order that we want them to view them so that it's easier for them to access.
Nice.
So-
So the one you want them to do first is on top.
Yes, but it's the reverse. Like you would think, okay, well, the ones I want them to see first, I will schedule them to show up first. It's actually the opposite.
Yes, that's
And I
right.
have to have a visual to do it every single week. And but yeah, it's like, so let's say for Monday, the to-do list, if this is how we have it scheduled to set up. Monday to-do schedule is at 8:09, and then the Monday lessons are all set up for 8:08. Tuesday's to-do list is 8:07, and Tuesday's lessons are 8:06 a.m.
Nice.
And we just keep going through. So Friday's to do is 8:01, and Friday is at 8 o'clock. So when they view it, it's all in order.
That's a great,
So
great tip.
I would like to see like a calendar scheduling option in Seesaw for
Mhm.
this situation when it's your entire learning is on this app, not just one or two lessons for adding to what we do in the classroom. So hopefully they'll develop that, or that'll evolve at some point.
Yeah, or a way to just drag them into the order you want them in.
Right.
That would be
Something.
amazing.
But if until then, this works beautifully. And
I
then
love
you
that
can
you guys are
also,
figuring it out.
like, there's some things that are optional. My social emotional learning. Okay, now I'm orange. My social emotional learning, which is my thing, my passion, those lessons are optional, but some of the kids will start doing them ahead of time and kind of get off track. So I don't release those for the schedule until Friday. So those don't go out on Monday. They don't go out till Friday. So you still have the ability to step things out if you don't want them to have access to it all at once on Mondays. You can still do that.
Smart. So I know that that's one of the Seesaw Plus features. So I'm hoping we can talk principals into keeping that for us, or, you know, figure out something, because those features are amazing. Anyone else want to share something? Those are amazing organization tips.
Hey, Andrea, I have a friend that's trying to get in, and it's telling her the meeting hasn't started.
Oh.
Mm.
She may be clicking on tomorrow's. Have her go back to Canvas and see if maybe she's clicking on, she needs to do the 13th. That could be it.
Make sure she's not doing yesterday's link as well.
Right. Yeah.
I have something to share about how things have evolved since the first week. Being a coach, it's been really fun to watch teams collaborate using Seesaw, and really since the first week that has come like so far, where you're starting with an idea and you guys are taking it and creating it into something else. I think that's so awesome. So I just wanted to celebrate that.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I have some people who were just really hesitant to do anything in the beginning and are now Seesaw rock stars. Like, they have gone bananas with it and love it. Yeah, Lydia's one of them. She's owning it. Yes, but good grief, you guys are amazing. So
yeah.
I'm reading over here, Amanda said she's even assigning things for her personal children at home. I'm doing the same thing. It's a great way to get some communication going there too. And when you have a little bit of control over what they're learning, that's always nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. It's so user-friendly for students that we're not having to teach them how to use the tools. They'll just click around and figure that part out.
That's the beauty of Seesaw.
Yep. Okay, so how about challenges? Does anybody have some challenges or some I wish it would?
I don't know how to make when you're making your lesson and you want to have pictures or whatever, have them be able to move the pictures around. I have no clue how to do that.
Some draggables.
It's baffling to me.
There's some steps there. We can go there. I wrote that down. Julie, you had something.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the challenges that we at first grade department that we face quite a bit is that, so we have 4 teachers sharing this, so we each take a content piece and so we share it, but that maxes out our teacher load. And so then when the specialists or the admin people, anybody wants to get in and see, and I know that's beyond our control, but to be able to let the specialists in, the interventionists and things like that in, and also let the teachers have that. I don't know if there's a way to kind of push that back up or buy more spots to be, I think, helpful if we have to kind of keep doing this.
Yep. So Seesaw Plus is 5 teachers in a class, right? If they just want to go in and see what's in there, but they don't need to have editing capabilities or things like that, then you could make them a student in the class. The Seesaw for Schools allows for, I think it's 20 co-teachers. So if we can talk our principals or use, sorry about that, you guys, or use grade level money or something like that to get the Seesaw for Schools version, it allows for more teachers in a class. So that's something to consider. And there's no price on the website. It's one of those like call us for a quote type things. So that's a great concern and I'm glad that everybody's wanting to contribute to the same class. That's kind of a good way to do that. But if they just need visibility to it, you could make them a student and then they could see what's in there.
And I would imagine that Seesaw is probably looking at how they've structured all of their access rights, like the free one and then the paid one and then the Seesaw for School. I mean, they and the other platforms got pretty slammed, when all of this started. So I would imagine there might be some changes in the future for probably all of the platforms on how to get access and co-teaching, that kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to watch for that in the fall for sure.
Other challenges, or I wish it would?
I wish it would be free.
Yeah, a lot of things, right? They do, I mean, to their credit, they allow for a lot of things to go on for free. So
that's true.
They do, and they
thankful for that.
They made a Facebook post sometime last week that I saw that kind of explained why they haven't really turned everything on for everybody. And, a part of it is they don't have the server space or the manpower right now to handle this kind of a situation. And, their number one motto is the free one will stay free for a really long time. I mean, like forever. And they would have to charge a little bit to give you a few more bells and whistles, and then even charge schools that school license for even more bells and whistles. I mean, I don't want to say it's a money thing, but it kind of is a money thing, and that way there's not a bunch of advertisements somehow or another, or they would just not ever offer a free thing again and just put all their money into bells and whistles. So, I mean, I feel like we have to meet them a little bit halfway, but yeah, it would be good to have a couple of more things thrown into the free part, especially after experiencing what we've had to since spring break.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do like is that if y'all haven't seen it and you're on Facebook has a Seesaw page specifically for sharing, to where people will post things that they've made and it gives you the link and you have access to it. I mean, they have that one, then they have another one that's Seesaw for kindergarten, and just all kind of different Facebook pages specifically for Seesaw.
That's right.
I really like the one for sharing because it just gives you all kind of different stuff.
Oh, thank you, Melanie. That was very helpful. Awesome. She threw a schedule in the chat if anybody wants to see how she's organizing it to come up in the right order. Laura, did you have something?
I was just going to say, I I've been using Seesaw for like a year and a half or 2 years now. And when you're in the classroom, the free version, I mean, obviously I know so much more because I have to figure it out now, but the free version is very useful when you're in the classroom with kids. So when we do go back, if Seesaw for Schools isn't purchased or something, the free version when you're in the room with the kids and it's not 100% of the learning through Seesaw, it really does fit a lot of the needs of just, using it at stations instead of using it for 100% of your education.
True.
Yeah, great point.
That is a good point. Yep. Yep. All right, I am going to move on to the next slide. It's kind of our agenda for today. If we get to all of this, we do. If we don't, we'll meet again another time. But we want to have some time for some of our Rockstar teachers to share. Laura Bean's going to share a way to do weekly communication with her students in a really fun and different kind of way. We're going to talk quickly about the Seesaw extension for Chrome. You may have seen that in the Chrome Extensions Learning Bite earlier in the month, but we're going to just quickly go over that again. We're going to talk about ways to give feedback to students, either just orally in the journal or directly on their work, including some really fun ways to use your Bitmoji. We're going to we have some teachers that are going to show how to assign direct links to Raz Kids and Pebble Go so that they don't have to go through the portal. They can just get a direct link to the exact place that you want them to go. And then we're going to talk about how to share your Seesaw free trial with someone else so that both of you can get 30 more days if you're coming up on the end of your free trial. And then we'll share some resources for you at the end if you need some more. So we will start with Laura. Laura, if you want to share your screen and show us how you communicate with your students through Seesaw.
Okay, is it there?
It is.
Okay. So one way that I have been using the announcements feature, we have like our specials videos every week. And at the beginning I was posting, the Monday video on Monday, the Tuesday video on Tuesday, but I was finding that if my kid doesn't log in until Thursday, they just have a ton of red notifications and that would drive me crazy. And so I've been putting it into like a classroom scene, if you will. So this was my announcement that I posted last week, and everything on here is clickable and accessible to students on whatever device they're on. So if they click on Move It Monday, they see our PE teacher's video. If they click on me, they get a read aloud. If they click on Zoom, they get a link to our Zoom meeting. We have our weekly overview, our suggestion of learning that they can access everything, and it's all done through Google Drive. So all I do is create a slide and just go in and link the different things when I need to, and it updates it in Seesaw then. And so I'll show you a couple that I've done and then kind of what it looks like in Seesaw for the kids. But it's nice because instead of me having to post 10 different announcements with all of these links, they have it in one little cute classroom environment. So this was the one that I did last week, and then access. This is the one that's there this week. So, it's fun for them because now my Bitmoji is flying in space, and if they click on the alien, they get to see our leaderboard for the week for Education Galaxy, Moby Max, all of those things. And then all I have to do is go in and add the link. Tomorrow I'll add our science teacher's link, and it'll automatically update in Seesaw, and the kids will be able to click and watch any of the videos. So if they don't log on until Friday and do their work, then everything will be here and they'll just be able to click through it all without having to skim through every announcement that I've posted. So this is the one I'm working on for next week. None of the links are active or live because I don't have anything set up yet, but all I do is I found a background from Google. I picked whatever Bitmoji I wanted. My smartboard travels with me from scene to scene, and then I can just put anything around it that I want. The key to making this active is when you need the link, you're not going to copy the link from the top. You're not going to copy from, share. You need to go to file and publish to the web.
Mhm.
And then then you'll be prompted to publish it. Yes, it's published, so you may not want to put, pictures and names on there. And then this is the link that I paste into Seesaw. And so that way, if a kid, doesn't have their Google account set up or something, it's just a straight link to a website, and they don't have to log in through the portal or anything. And that's the link that gets posted. So what it looks like for the kids, this is in the, their inbox, and I updated it today. I said, be sure to watch the Wednesday video because our music teacher makes some awesome videos. And then the kids will click on that, and they don't have to log in or anything. It's, it's through Google, but since I published it to the web, and then they can go around and click, they can see a read aloud from space here. They can get our Zoom meeting here. They can get anything that they need from this one page without having to go through 10 different announcements. It's kind of a similar concept if you've seen choice boards, and I pulled one up here. So if you wanted, I didn't make this one, I just found it from the community library, but if you wanted, kids to have links to a ton of different things, it's the same exact concept. So this is linked to this book, this is linked to this website, and you just have to be sure that you publish it to the web, and then you're able to upload a lot of different links for them to access. So I asked my kids last week in our Zoom, I said, do you want me to keep making a scene like this with all the links in one place, or do you like it, with everything is separate? And they voted for this one, and I probably would too because it's fun. And I said, okay, next week I'm going to space, and then, I might link it to a virtual field trip or something, or I could make the background be my actual classroom. Just something fun that kind of grabs their attention because they're probably growing tired of looking at screens just as much as we are. So that is my Seesaw scenes.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's a really creative way to do that. Get them all involved. They love to try to hunt around and find you could even hide a clickable something in there somewhere that they could find. That would be fun.
And I asked them when we had our Zoom, I said, oh, did you guys click? Like, we started research. And so one of my teammates made a research PowerPoint, and I went through it on Loom. So I was talking about the PowerPoint, and I was like, click on everything. Did you find the research? Click on the computer. So when we were done, I could see the count go up. They all went back, and they're like, oh yeah, I need to really try and click on everything to see what I can find.
Beautiful. Love it. Does anybody have questions for Laura?
That's amazing. I'm like dumbfounded by this right now. I wish I was doing something like this in Google Classroom. We're getting a lot in 5th grade of kids that are just kind of like there because they're almost teenagers, and they're so ready to be out. And I just can't help but thinking how much more interactive it would be if I had something like this now in 5th grade. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. I was trying the following week after the movie, I was like, if I could make it like a Roblox or a Minecraft scene, which I don't know anything about, so I'd have to search for that, but they would be so hooked into that of like, oh, Miss Bean is, playing a video game. I know everyone would click everything. So that's on my radar for sure.
I love it. That's awesome. Okay.
I'll get with you, Carrie, to work on your ideas. Maybe we can connect up later this week and just chat through things.
Oh yeah, I'm down. This looks so cool.
Yeah, awesome, Laura. Thank you for sharing that. It's so cool. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about the Seesaw extension. Jeff, did you want to jump in here?
So Seesaw has a Chrome extension. So if y'all happen to be in your Chrome web browser and logged in and everything to your Burgle account, which y'all probably are, you might see that extension in the upper right-hand corner of the browser. It's just a little circle that has the word Seesaw in it, a little tiny. Andrea's trying to point at it. She's got her big pointer goes away when she goes off. But
Yeah, for some reason my fun cursor doesn't work up here in the extensions, but it's up here.
But it's right up there, and we had it made available to everybody in the district and made available to the students when they are logged into the Chrome browser as well. And so what that thing does is it allows you to, on the fly, take a screen grab or a partial screen grab and put that automatically into a Seesaw activity slide. So you don't have to already be logged into Seesaw. You don't have to log into Seesaw, pull up an activity card and paste things in there. This thing does it on the fly. So time, and Andrea's going to kind of demonstrate it for you, and we're going to toss out a couple of ideas about how you might use it, that kind of a thing. So
yeah, so when I first started playing with this extension, I had a really hard time trying to figure out how I would use it as a teacher. But then when I started thinking about how the students might use this extension, it made more sense to me. So if you wanted them to have some kind of accountability station, let's say their station is to go into PebbleGo and read article, right? So you want to know what they've read and maybe have some sort of reading response or something like that. So if you had them, give them choice, so that it increases your engagement right off the bat. So if you tell them go to PebbleGo and find an article about an animal that you like, it's going to read it to me. And
frogs.
Then maybe set a timer for the end of the station or whatever, and you want them to do some kind of response on what they read. They can. If I just read about this frog, then I can click on my Post to Seesaw extension, and I'm going to choose capture selected area because I don't really want the whole screen. And then it pulls up a cursor for me, and I can take a picture of what I've just read. I let go and it automatically starts opening my Seesaw account for me. So it puts it in Seesaw for me. So now I can go in and record my voice explaining about what I read with the picture. I can add some text if I want to annotate something. If you want them to maybe use one of our strategies and tell you something that surprised them about what they read, or a question that they still have, or one of those 3 questions type things, they could do that. My favorite thing to do with something, I'm sorry about the lawnmower, that's going to happen too. So my favorite thing to do with something like this is to have them record their voice telling me. So they can push the microphone button, start recording, and they can talk about and draw on the picture at the same time. Like, Miss Gray, I really thought this part was very interesting, or this surprised me about frogs today. They can add some pictures if they want to pull in some shapes or something like that. I really loved, it's going to go slow on me. Don't freeze. There we go. So they can pull in shapes. So Lydia, you were asking about draggables. This is one way that you could do a draggable. If you don't want to use pre-saved files, you can just use these shapes from Seesaw, and those can be their draggables. So we can talk more about that in a little while too, but they can record their voice telling you about what surprised them today. They click done, and it's loaded into their journal. So you didn't have to go in and create an activity for them. You didn't have to do anything. You just told them, at your station, I want you to show me some kind of evidence of something that surprised you with what you did today. Another thing that I thought about was, gosh, that's loud. Jeff, do you want to talk?
Yes, I will. I'll talk for a minute. So like to pick up on what Andrea just said, you're getting information back from the kids or communication back from the kids about what they might have done with a particular activity at a station. This can apply to any of your station work, really. You may want to use this as an accountability tool to if they are working on some social studies or doing some research for, science project or whatever. This could be an accountability tool that you just want them, hey, do a little screen grab really quickly using your Seesaw extension and tell me what you have been working on at your station. So no matter what content area that they've been working on, they can grab a little bit of the work they've been doing, or if they don't have anything really to grab, they can just take a screenshot and just talk to you. Here's what I did today. This is what I'm still wondering about. This is what I'm still needing some help with, that kind of a thing. And because most of us, I think almost all of us are using the at-home codes, then that post that they make goes back to their journal. And then probably you all have your notifications turned on so that you'll see that there's something in there from that student. And then you'll be able to go back and hear what they were working on and make your determination of, were they really on task? Do they need a little bit of extra help with something? That kind of a thing. So again, it's a really quick way to gather some information from them. The kids know that they can communicate with you in that respect. And it's private really to you because of the way that we are using our Seesaw accounts right now. Is it still loud at Andrea's house? Okay.
It's a little loud, but I'm like shocked that we're down to the last 10 minutes. So I'm going to move along a little bit. We wanted to show you how to reply to students' work directly on their activity. Move you out of the way. There we go. So if we are in our Seesaw account, and I'm going to pull up one that has some activities done. And I'm in the journal and I want to reply to this person's submission. I can click comment and leave them a typed comment, or I can click on their microphone and record my voice with my comment, which is much more personal and a great thing for those that are non-readers. But the other thing I can do, oops, that's not what I meant to do. The other thing I want to show you is a way to respond directly on their work. So if I click on the 3 dots and I edit the item, it pulls up what they have done, and I can add text response to something that they've done. I really like blah, 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 right? Or did you think about maybe trying this, or what made you come up with that idea? Something along those lines, right? Or I can click on this caption button at the bottom and I can add a voice caption and tell them what I really liked or what I would like for them to go back and look at again. You can also use this when you're creating activities and you want to leave instructions on each page for them so that they're not having to constantly pull up the instructions at the top, or that they just forget that they're there like most kids do. So you can add a voice caption with the instructions for that activity. I can use any of the Seesaw tools, so I could actually circle exactly what I'm talking about for that student, and then when it goes back into their journal, they can see exactly what I've added directly onto their work. So it's a little bit more helpful for the student to know exactly what you're talking about. And then Lydia is going to show us how to include your Bitmoji in this.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can see what I've got to do. Okay, guys? Okay, so up here, if you look next to my Seesaw extension, I have a Bitmoji extension. So you need to make sure you go and get the Bitmoji extension for Chrome. And then, so let me, where's my Seesaw? Okay, so here is a work that I want to do. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to hit edit item, just like Andrea did. But instead of using the label, I'm going to come down here to the camera and upload. Now, I have already made my Bitmoji stickers in Bitmoji, and if you see here, I have them all downloaded. All you have to do is you go in and you drag them over into the file here. You can hit download or you can just drag it. When you have your Bitmoji stickers, and I'm sorry, but I don't remember how to do that switch them over just now. I have the Bitmoji sticker here, and I picked a bunch of them to make. That way I have a variety that I can add on to their work. Then you come over here, I just do it off to the side just because. I don't know if there's a specific way to do it. And I click, and then it takes the dots away, like it's already there, and then you click on the green. Now when it goes back, you have to, I've already approved this, so it's not gonna come back and show me that I have to send it back to them. But if you're doing it while you're approving, then it goes back into the queue and you have to hit like you're gonna refresh and go back into approve everything again, and then you can send this to them. So I hope that was understandable, and I'm sorry I don't remember offhand how to get to from the Bitmoji from my phone on here, because I forgot to think about that earlier.
So if you don't have a Bitmoji account, you need to do that on a device like an iPad or a phone or something like that. And then once you have your account created, then you can go in and add that extension into your Chrome web browser, and it will ask you to sign in to that Bitmoji extension, and then you'll have all of your Bitmojis available there.
So if you do not, am I unmuted? Yes. Okay. So if you do not have Bitmoji stickers already saved and you don't want to do all of those steps, which that's a really cute way to do it. And there's a video in the slide deck if you want to grab the slide deck with that bit.ly in a little bit, or it's in Canvas. But there's a video for how to make really cute Bitmoji stickers. But if you want to just use what they have, you can click on your Bitmoji extension and type in whatever you want it to say. I like how you, and I like to do like this. So maybe I like this one. I'm gonna right click on it, copy, and then I have to do Control V to paste it. So I can paste it directly here. And then in my text box, I like how, and then in my text box, I can finish my sentence. Right? So then you don't have to have all your Bitmojis saved anywhere. You can just pull them directly from the extension. They're not quite as cute as Lydia's, but there is a easier, quick way to do that too.
Well, that's my learn from new for today.
Right. So you can't right click and paste. It won't let you, but you can do Control V and it will paste it for you. Okay. All right, Lydia, do you want to show us? We're getting really close to time and we may go over a little bit. So those of you that need to leave right at 12, we are not going to hold that against you. This is recorded, so you can go back and watch the rest of it later if you need to go. Okay. So Lydia, do you want to show us how to assign RAS kids?
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to go and do RAS Kids for my kid, add books. But instead of making them go from the portal, go into RAS Kids, read the book, then go back to Seesaw and do that, I'm going to go into RAS Kids. Hold on. Oops. And find my book. Now I already know what book I want just to make it faster. Make it faster. Okay, so I'm going to do this book, The Rainforest Animals. So you click on your book. Now, one thing you have to do, you have to make sure that your book is in portrait mode. If you choose a book in landscape mode, the wide books, when you put it into Seesaw, it's going to come up with one page showing correctly and one page upside down. So you need to make sure you pick a book that is in portrait mode like this. Then you come down here to do the single-sided book. Click on it, and as you see down here, it's already downloaded into my folder. And then if you come down some to teacher objectives, you have worksheets that go with it as well. I like to go ahead and get that as well. Now, when I come over to Seesaw and go to create an activity, and then come down here to multimedia instructions, and then upload, select from a computer. Now I have to switch back to my downloads. Now, if you see here, you have the rainforest animals and the WKSH, that's the worksheet. So you want this one, the book. Double click on it. And after it stops spinning, hopefully it's going to show up. And there you go. Now the cool thing is, if you have kids that you want to read this, but they are unable or need help, you can put down a caption. You can go page by page and read them something or tell them something about the page, whatever you want them to know. You can put a caption on every page. Now, if you go back, let's see, I'm going to click that. Don't you love how slow this goes sometimes? What I'm going to do is put in the worksheets for their templates. So go down here for template, again to upload, the select from the computer, and then I'm going to hit the worksheets. Now, if you didn't want all of the worksheets, when you saved it, you see over here there's 3 of them, and you may not want all 3. You save the worksheets and you can go to print, pick which ones you want, download that, and so when you upload the worksheets, you're only uploading what you want. So you have both the book and you have an activity for them to do that you don't have to worry about trying to say, okay, show me your evidence. I mean, obviously you could, but you don't have to. Everybody got that? It went kind of fast, I'm sorry. Where am I?
Lydia, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When you go over to the pages and the little 3 dots on each page, oops.
Okay.
You went too fast for me.
Okay, you want to go back to the template?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the little 3 dots on like page 1.
Okay.
Over on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Whoops, not there. The other 3 dots. Over where you're
up
listing.
here?
Yep. So if there's one that you don't want, there we go. So if you did do the same steps that you did, and then decided you didn't want a page, you could delete it there.
Oh,
right?
That's cool. I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. That's why I had you click on it.
Cool. Well, let's see what it does. Let's see. Oh, I like that one. Let's see what's the next one. I can draw pictures of that. No, I think let's try it. Delete page. Delete page. Hey, there you go.
There we go. Nice. Okay. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then you just come back over here and you write your instructions. And like I said, on each page, whether it's in your example or in your template, but more so the template, you can add those captions to where you're adding voice. And I always do my voice instructions up here because my kids need that extra modification, accommodation type thing. So that's it for me. Back to you.
Okay. We have some questions about how to do those steps again.
Sure.
Judy, there is a how-to in the slide deck. There's a link to a how-to, or we can get back with Lydia and she can show us that again, if that's okay.
Do you want me to go back and do it again?
let's save it because I think let's get through the others, and then maybe if people want to stick around for that part, we can do that at the end if that's okay.
Okay.
All right. So next up is Jennifer, and Jennifer's going to share how to assign Pebble Go.
All right, can everybody see my screen? Yes, okay. I actually talked about this on a different Innovative Learning Bites a couple weeks ago when I presented with another librarian. This is a slide from that deck, and I'm sharing it with Andrea so she can share it with you. If you get this slide and you click on the link, it will go to the Pebble Go website and explain to you how you can assign a Pebble Go article and get a direct link to that to put into your LMS. So today we're talking about Seesaw. You can create a direct link and assign that direct article into Seesaw so the students don't have to leave Seesaw, go sign into Pebble Go, read the article, and then come back. So if Andrea shares this with you, here is the slide, and then here is the second one. This bit.ly would have the link to all of the slides that were in that fabulous presentation. So how you would do that, funny, I chose the same article that Andrea did. It's actually National Frog Jumping Day, so frogs are appropriate. So you would come up here to the link up at the top and copy that. I already created a separate file. I like to create my links in a separate file because you have to do a couple steps to get that direct link. Here is the slide that I have. Each different school in our district has a direct access URL. Your librarian would have that, so feel free to contact your librarian. This is my campus's direct access URL. The part that you need of that code to do the direct link is the part starting with the question mark and the SQS code. So I have that copied down here. So I'm gonna paste in that frog link. I like to right click and do paste without formatting, and I'll show you why in a second. If you then come up here and copy this SQS code and insert it at the end, and then here's the magic. If you now hit enter, that creates your direct link code and everything is linked all together. Let me show you why I like to paste without formatting, because when I was initially doing this, I figured out that it wasn't working, and here's why. So if you come here and copy this again, and if you come in here and just hit Control V, do you see how that's a link? If you then copy this SQS code at the end, that does not make that all be the same link. This link would only be to the frog article that would make you go back and sign into Pebble Go. If you do this, how you fix it is to go back through and copy all of it and hit Control C, and then come up here to this insert link, and then where it's highlighted in the link part, hit Control V, and that will put in that entire link. And once you hit apply, now do you see how that link is applied to all of the text? Because you need all of that text to go to the direct link. If you only have up through the article, that's where you're going to have to go back to Pebble Go, through Pebble Go and log in through the portal. So if you wanted this link, here's your direct link. You would copy it, go into Seesaw, hit add and assign activity, create a new activity, come down to add multimedia instructions and link, and then paste that direct link in there. And there is your article. that you want the students to read. So hit the green arrow and it will, hold on, save. And you can see that link is attached down there. But I learned the hard way when I was trying to create the links that if you don't make sure, just because you put two pieces of text together, doesn't mean that that link goes all the way. So you need to make sure the link includes the SQS part of the code, or it won't take you all the way to Pebble, to that article directly in PebbleGo. All right. Does anyone need me to share anything else, or we can go back to it later? All right, thank you.
Oh, you're muted, Andrea.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, so I was just saying that I'm surprised we ran out of time so quickly, but please stick around if you have questions or want us to go over something again. The next thing we were going to talk about was how to share your Seesaw, and this is Jeff.
Yeah, so you guys can, if you're running out of days on your trial for the Seesaw Plus, you can have a friend share their code that will help give you 30 more days. And so Andrea will show you when you are logged into your account, in the upper left corner of the account, you're going to see your name, and you'll click on it and then go to the gear. And when you click on that little gear, you're going to choose Share Seesaw. And that brings up an entirely new window that has a QR code that you could share if you were in a face-to-face situation with somebody, or you could just copy the text that's in that box right there, like what Andrea's doing, and you can send that to your friend that needs an extra 30 days of access to the Plus Seesaw Plus. And when that person puts that information into the window that comes up and says, hey, you're about to run out of time, that will extend for your friend that 30 days. And it also gives you an extra amount of time as well. So that's one way to do that. And that, if that's happening kind of to you like it is to some teachers right now, that would give enough time to get through the rest of the school year.
One of the questions is, how do we know when it will expire? I think when you click, I think it's up here, account settings, manage subscription, and that will tell you how long you have left. You'll also get a notification that says, hey, it's about to run out. Do you want to upgrade?
Julie asked a question about, do you have to be a new user? Because it does say in that text that Andrea copied, if you want to invite somebody new, yeah, it'll work for new users, but it also will extend current users that are on their trial right now.
Somebody says, will the free version be available over the summer? So you got 90 days when you signed up for the first time, I believe. So after the 90 days is up, then you'll have to either do this to get 30 more days, or you'll have to talk to your principal or use grade level money or something to purchase more time.
But the free portion will still be available to you. Your account will just revert back to the free version and the things.
Oh, right. Yeah. The free version, yes, is always available. The free trial version is 90 days, I believe, from the day you signed up. That answer the question? Yeah. Okay. We're nearing the end here. We've got some resources.
Okay, so on this one, if you want more information, there was a question earlier in the chat about tutorials. Are those available? Seesaw has great tutorials on their PD page on their website. That is the very first square right there that Andrea's kind of hovering around right now. So if you just click on that particular icon, it'll give you a URL to click on, and that will take you to basically Seesaw in your PJs or PD in your PJs. So anytime tutorials, you can just do them at your leisure, and it goes over pretty much every aspect of what's available in Seesaw, that kind of thing. It's also broken down by grade levels, as you see on there, and that kind of a thing. So that's one way to go back and have your own little personal tutorials that you can view at your leisure.
So not only is it broken down by grade level, but then after you click on that, it's broken down by where you are in your journey in Seesaw. Are you a beginner? Are you ready for something more or even more with Seesaw? So there's tons and tons and tons and tons of things to watch there.
And then also on that slide, I added 2 more things. There's 20 ideas from Matt Miller, who is the Ditch That textbook author and just all around guru of technology things. He has 20 Seesaw ideas to use with Chromebooks from K-12 classes. So that's an awesome resource. And then if you want even more, there's 100 ways students can use Seesaw. So check that out if you're running short on ideas or just want to see what other people are thinking about how to utilize Seesaw. All of those resources would be awesome to go through.
And then all of this is available in the Canvas course. So if you'll go in and you can grab this slide deck there and have all these clickables available to you, or you can type in the bit.ly and get it there. There's also an opportunity to earn a badge for today. So if you want to go in and answer a couple of questions for us in Canvas, we'll get you a badge for attending today.
And if you've not joined our Canvas class, I put the link to the join code or join link right at the very beginning of the chat. So you can scroll right back up there, click on that link, and you'll be able to be taken to the join page, and it will be added. The course will be added to your Canvas account.
Okay, so we are going to stick around for a few minutes for those of you that want us to go over something again or have some questions, but otherwise, we will see you next time. And thanks for coming.
Thanks for joining.
Andrea, I'm sticking around.
Thank you, ma'am.
I was trying to take notes and multitask.
Yeah, no kidding. That was a lot of information all at once.
It
So,
was, and I was like trying to write, and I was like, oh, I just lost it.
yeah, that's okay.
So this will be available on our Canvas shortly, right?
That's
Yeah.
right. The recording takes about 24 hours to get posted. Is that about right?
That's about right. We have to go in and close caption it. We'll put on YouTube, close caption it, and then put it in the Canvas course. So you'll be able to get it there probably day after tomorrow.
Okay. I logged in after it started, but in that short time, I got my question answered, learned all kinds of awesome stuff, but I'm going to have to rewatch this video.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome.
I'm glad to
Glad
hear
to
that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Have we covered everything for everybody that's left?
Thank you all so much for doing this.
All right. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Y'all have a great afternoon.
Thank you for joining us for this innovative learning bite. Remember, if you want to connect with us, you can reach out over social media, Facebook and Twitter, or if you're a Birdville employee, please remember to join the Innovative Learning Bites Kitchen on Canvas. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.